Right here at Christ Embassy Church, we bring you the most exciting interview. With me here is Myrna Widlend, the Vision Board Coach. Don't forget Christ Embassy Church, they provided this place for us, the studio to shoot all our interview videos. So they are sponsoring this program. Their church service starts 10 o'clock every Sunday and 6 p.m. on Wednesdays and 6 p.m. to 7 on Fridays. Also, Nakin's brand, they are well known for their vibrant 100% silk kaftans. Their website is coming very soon. If you want to get anything from them, you just have to contact me, my private page on Facebook or the Native TV page. All right, let's hang out with Myrna Widlend. Welcome to the show, Myrna.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you.
I'm so excited to see you here. My goodness. So, Myrna, yes, you've been to the studio before.
No, I haven't.
This is
it's
not
the very first time that I've been to the studio. The other studio was actually one that was in
Augustine Heights.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
with the
right.
group.
That was the group. On International Women's Day.
International Women's Day. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, vision board in Myrna. To become a vision board coach.
Yes.
What do you have to do? Any course at the university, or you have to do any studies for you to become
It's a very interesting question because I'm actually a certified vision board coach.
Because apart from you, I've never seen anyone who is a vision board coach.
Oh, okay.
If I hear vision board coach, I think about Myrna.
Yes.
So
yes.
You are the only person for you to enlighten us about this vision board.
Okay, that's interesting. Yes, there's still quite a number of people that actually don't know what it is.
Okay.
But to answer your first question, the way I am a certified vision board coach, I was actually certified by a lady called Joyce Swatch.
Okay.
She's the author of the book, The Vision Board Book. And it's sold over 100,000 copies, and that book has been endorsed by a number of people like Bob Proctor.
And the lady's in Australia?
No, she's actually in the US.
Okay.
Yeah. She used to live in New York. She's now moved. I'm not quite sure where she's actually moved to. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a certified course, so it's certified by a number of coaching institutes. And you do a certain set of hours, a little bit like when you decide you want to become an accountant.
Okay.
And as a CPA, you need to do 40 hours of
Okay.
prep work before you actually step out. So that's exactly what happened with me as well, that I did a course and then I did some practicing before I could step out and do what it is that I'm doing now.
Oh, okay. So, Myrna, I read something from your page on Facebook, and that is the question I'm coming to ask you.
Sure.
You said something like, what if your vision board came true?
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like the vision board is not actually guaranteed, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's like a try and error. So if I come to you and tell you about what I want to do, and you start the vision boarding and whatever, because I've never seen, I see it on Facebook, so I don't know how this is done, because I'm coming to you very soon.
Wonderful.
So let's say if I come and tell you this is what I want to do, does that mean for you to say, what about if your vision came true? Does that mean vision boarding is not guaranteed? That when I'm coming to you, I will get what I want? Is it a try and error kind of thing? Or
That's another really interesting question, and I guess if you stop and you think about this, if you want to become healthy and you went off and you saw a naturopath, if the naturopath told you what it is that you were supposed to take, would you actually get healthy? No, you wouldn't. Okay. You would actually have to take action. So the vision boarding isn't just about creating a vision board and sitting down and relaxing on your couch and doing nothing. Okay. You actually have to go to work. You have to take the action. You need to do the preparation. If, for instance, your vision boarding was around your health, then you would need to look at things like, your food, supplementing, drinking clean water, exercising, going to bed early, sleeping, all of those sort of things. And if you want to start a business, then, you have to take all the steps that you need to take in order to have a successful business. To answer your question, is it trial and error? the trial and the error comes from whether you actually back up the clarity that you get from going through the process of creating the vision board with action.
Okay. All right, Myrna, before becoming a vision board coach, what were you doing before?
How much time do you have?
You want to know? Because that will lead me to my next question. What were you doing before?
Look, I have had a very interesting career. In fact, what I've done is I've taken most of my hobbies and turned them into a career. That's really what I've done. So I was originally born in Africa, in South Africa, in Cape Town, and then I ended up in the UK.
Okay.
So when I was in the UK, I worked as a community relations officer. I worked as an editor for a manufacturing company.
Okay.
I also worked in fashion for a little while, and then I came to Australia and I worked for a public relations company. Then I worked for an upholstery and textile company. I also was in the seminar industry. And I have a great passion in the area of health as well. That's my other love, because I have had some real challenges with my health, and so for me, being in that area is a great passion and something that I love being involved in, because it not only helps other people, it helps myself as well, so I can keep my health on top. And so there's been a number of, and what is really beautiful when you attend my workshop, which I call Create Your Own Kind of Beautiful, I really draw from the strengths of all the different things that I had learned with all the different journeys that I've actually been on, and it's been very varied.
Yeah, so you know why I said my next question, I'll ask you my next question based on the answer you give to me. Whatever you are doing to me, you were doing before got nothing to do with the vision boarding. So why vision board coach?
It's the reason why I became particularly interested in the vision board coach, because I found out that some of my friends who actually stepped into wanting to create their own business, where they didn't actually have any entrepreneurial skills, where perhaps they were an employer, but they wanted to transition from being an employee into becoming an entrepreneur. For them, it was a great challenge, because they really didn't have a vision of how to be able to transition.
Okay.
And often what happened is that I also found out that very often the reason why people were not succeeding if they even made the decision that they were going to go into small business was because there were a number of things in their life that they hadn't actually really dealt with.
Okay.
And so that was blocking them from actually becoming successful. And I've always been someone that has liked flicking through magazines. I've always been someone that has liked cutting out pictures. Even when I was a little kid, I had my paper dolls, and I put on, cut out the dresses and the outfits and put it onto my paper dolls. So for me, visioning has been, without my realizing, it's something that's been a part of me for a very, very long time. But the reason why I wanted to, honestly, if you came along to some of my workshops, sometimes I just burst into tears, because people get such a revelation about themselves. And there's a saying, actually, the saying goes is, how you turn up anywhere is how you turn up everywhere. So how people actually turn up when they're doing the vision board is often the way they're turning up in other areas of their lives.
No, Myrna, let me ask you this question. This question, I'm asking it for myself. I think viewers will also probably they would like to listen to this question. Can I come to you? Let's say I'm coming to Myrna and I'm coming to discuss with you. I want to, become big in what I am doing. Can it happen that when I come to you and talk to you about this, you go, oh, okay, no, I don't think media is for you, but something else. You can see something else instead of media.
That's not my role.
Okay.
My role is not to tell you what it is that you do. My role is to help you to explore for yourself what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
And often people surprise themselves with some of the things that come up, but because of the process that I actually use, they inevitably come to that decision themselves.
Okay.
I might throw some light on it, and I might have the discernment to share some things with them, but ultimately it's their board.
Okay.
They've created that board, and and they have that clarity around that board,
Okay.
and they step out and they'll do that.
Okay.
And I can tell you, if you came along to my vision board workshop, I would never ever say to you, don't do media, because you're so brilliant at it.
Thank you so much, Myrna. Myrna, vision board are such a great tool for teens to explore their future goals, self-esteem, and motivation. What do you mean by that? Because I grabbed that one from Facebook as well.
Oh, it's very exciting working with teens.
Okay.
So exciting, because teens have not had all the experiences of being influenced yet. You know, one of the reasons why I love doing the vision boarding, you mentioned earlier on your family, what your mum and dad wanted you to do,
Yeah.
and you had to step in and you had to do that.
Yeah.
But there were other things that you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So very often adults find themselves doing things, which is not necessarily what they want to do. It's influenced by their family, it's influenced by their friends, influenced by their environment, or influences a whole load of other influences.
Yeah.
So inevitably they end up not doing what it is that they want to do. Whereas children, well, you remember what it was like as a child. You have no limitations. And the things that they do and they say and comes up on their board, I highly recommend family vision boarding with mums and dads and the children all together, because often you will learn a lot about your child that you had no idea, you know, that will come out on the board.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a great, it's really, really good for teens, because teenagers have got a lot of pressure, because there's a lot of things coming at them. There's social media, there's peer groups, there's the bullying, there's all parents working, all of those things that come up against them all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And so what they need is they need that clarity. And once they get that clarity, then they can step out in self-confidence and hold up their self-esteem.
Now the big question. And I think I spoke to you on the phone about that. People think vision boarding is a fortune telling. Yeah, that is what people think.
Yeah.
So I think my main reason for inviting you here is to just clarify, things like that.
Oh, I had no idea that was your main reason, but let me...
No, it's one of, I would say, because I know Myrna is a Christian. You are a good Christian, and people are mistaking, you know what I mean, this vision boarding to be a fortune teller, which to me...
It's far from it, you know.
Which to me, Myrna is not, Myrna is a Christian, so I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Just
it's a good question, and I'm really glad that you brought it up, and I would love the opportunity to be able to answer that. The thing is, people will always judge based on misinformation or no information. It's very easy to Google, and if you Google the words vision board, those words and the connection wouldn't actually turn up. It just wouldn't turn up. But one of the most important things is how we act. We act according to our values.
okay.
And one of my greatest values, and that's part of what I actually teach in the vision board as well, is that you can't step forward and do things either if you don't have your values in order. And my greatest value is my faith. You know, my faith is it's the greatest value. And so that kind of activity doesn't even fit into my realm of thinking whatsoever. When I'm talking about how I'm guiding people through with what it is that they're doing, it's no different to what a teacher would do when you have a classroom and you have a syllabus and you're taking the child through and you're explaining things through. So that's exactly what I do at the vision boarding. It's not me fortune telling someone's future. That isn't it, any more than if somebody goes to a doctor. A doctor can't make them healthy. It's only God that's going to heal. You know, He has the power to heal. So even if you have all of those, and it's very biblical actually to do vision boarding, because it says in Scripture that you should put the things that you desire on a tablet.
Okay.
You know, it's a biblical thing. It's a biblical thing to do. God wants us to be clear.
So now we all understand.
Yeah.
It's not, fortune telling.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Last question, Myrna. I just want you to tell us a success story of vision boarding.
Yeah.
Let's say a client came to you and you coached that person, and now that person, you know, got something out of your coaching. You don't have to mention anybody's name, but this is what I've done and this is what came out of it, something like that. Can you give us like a success story of?
I'll give you a success story, but I'll also give you another example of something of where people aren't even aware of what is holding them back.
Okay.
Because remember, you can't become successful until you clear a lot of things that might actually be holding you back. And I remembered someone actually doing a vision board once, and they actually had a picture. The picture that they'd chosen was like a group of chains. And I actually asked this person, what's the symbolism? What does it mean? What do these chains around you actually mean? And she said, well, I'm taking care of my father. And she said, I'm really exhausted. And she said, I'm just feeling resentful now because I'm not able to do the things that I really want to do because I'm having to spend all this time looking after my dad. So what was the success story to that is that she stepped out and she found someone to take over the load from her so she could go back to her father in a loving way and caring for him rather than in a resentful way because she was so exhausted with the caring role. So that's one way. Another success story was someone who really wanted to set out and become a real entrepreneur, and this person ended up with 3 businesses. You know, they in the airline industry, in sending teachers to China. I mean, it's real high-level things that she's doing, real high. That she happens to be my cousin, so I'm quite happy to mention her, Shireen. And Shireen is doing incredible things. She's actually placing African pilots in China, and she's actually placing people in China as well who want to go and teach English. And in addition to that, she has a babysitting business. I don't think she's focusing on that so much. On the babysitting business.
Yeah, Myrna, what does color got to do? What does color got to do with vision coaching, vision boarding?
Color is very often what actually comes up when people are doing the vision boarding is that they will choose certain photographs, and the theme of the whole photographs will be a certain color. Okay. So I'll give you an example. My branding colors happens to be this green and orange. Those are the two. It's very interesting. I was actually going to wear a top, very interesting, the same colors, and I'm glad that I didn't because I would have just disappeared. I would have disappeared in the chair because I hadn't seen this. I hadn't seen this setup before. So I'm glad that I listened and didn't actually end up with that top. But you know, often the colors that people choose is really interesting. You know, sometimes the colors. If it's totally green, it might mean that what they're looking at is they need to pay attention to their health. You know, or there's some concerns with their finances. Or if they're choosing a lot of colours in orange, it's looking at them being more joyful, being more creative.
I don't think anyone would choose black and red.
They do choose black and red as well. And red is all about energy and vibrancy. That's really about. And the black doesn't necessarily have to be something which is negative. You know, the black can be a contrasting color to something else. Yeah.
All right, Myrna. Thank you so much. But use the platform about 2 minutes and just pour your heart out. Let people know. Just advise people out there. People probably want to become a vision board coach. You know, want to just pour your heart out there to people.
Look, you know, what I'm going to do is to really just encourage you to step out in that arena. You can actually connect with me. I've got a website, which is my first name and my surname without any dotting at myrnawidlend.com.au, and you can connect with me, and I'll be happy to actually take you through and, you know, answer any other questions that you might have. But vision boarding is not a one-off thing. Vision boarding is something that you want to do all the time. And here's the main reason why you want to be doing vision boarding all the time. We are bombarded with so many images every second of the day. And then we're not even aware of how we're taking on board those images. And once we take those images on board, it's how we actually respond to the world around us. So if you're creating a vision board, and I highly recommend that when you have a vision board, it's not just about making up the vision board. It's about positioning it in an area of your home that where you can see it every single day. That could be in your bedroom, in your bathroom, you know, but it's something that you need to look at every single day. And as you're looking at it every single day, you will find that those images that you have on the board, anything that's really positive, that's how you're going to respond to the world around you, instead of responding to a lot of the negative images that we have. And some of the images too, I mean, with social media, I think social media is a really great platform, but social media does have negativity attached to it as well. Because in the social media world, what's happening is that everybody wants to be a film star, everybody wants to be a celebrity, and it causes people to start comparing. But when you do your vision boarding and you're doing it in a serious way and you're finding out who your authentic, true self is, then you can be, and then you can feel, and you can create your own kind of beautiful without having to compare yourself with anyone else. And if you've got kids, do it with your kids. Because how many times do you sit down with your children for 3 hours where you're just playing? Because that's what my vision boarding is all about. It's a vision board party, and we have a lot of fun. And just the interaction of people, and as they share, you know, what they've chosen for their boards, and people actually look at each other's boards and see what it is that they see. It's an enormous amount of fun. It's very relaxing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Myrna, for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much, viewers. That was Myrna Widlend, the vision board coach. I trust her. I know she's doing amazingly well. As she said, she provided her email address, so you can contact Myrna through that email address, or Myrna is on Facebook as Myrna Widlend. You can contact Myrna.
And there's also a website as well, Nana.
Yeah. Myrna got a website as well, and yeah, you can contact Myrna, and then you can link up with Myrna and, you know, follow up from there. Thank you very much for being here, and we will see you again in our next video. Bye.